So, here are the major steps you need to follow to restore a configuration using the FTP protocol. Step 1. Install FTP server. As explained, we recommend to use FileZilla server software that can be downloaded for free from the web. Step 2. Set up the FileZilla server parameters. Step 3. Set up communication parameters for the IP50 or IP20 unit with the FTP server. Step 4. Import configuration backup file from FTP server. Step 5. Restore configuration backup. First 3 steps were previously explained, so make sure to follow them properly. These were: installing the FTP server on your PC or laptop, then setting up the FileZilla server parameters, then setting up the communication parameters for the IP50 or IP20 unit with the FTP server. At step number 4, we will import the configuration backup file. The assumption is that the configuration file is stored on the FTP server. To complete this step, do the following. 1. In the file number field, select the restore point to which you want to import the file. The imported file will be saved to the selected restore point and will overwrite whatever file was previously held in that restore point. 2. Click Apply to save your settings. 3. Click Import. The import begins. 4. You can view the status of the import in the File Transfer Status field in the Export/Import File Status section. Possible values are: ready, which is the default value, and appears when no import or export is in progress. File and transfer, when the file export or import is in progress. If an error occurs during the import or export, an appropriate error message is displayed in this field. When the import or export is complete, one of the following status indications appears: succeeded or failure. The next time the system is reset, the file transfer status field returns to ready. To restore a configuration file, first select Platform, Configuration, Configuration Management. The Configuration Management page opens. Then follow these steps. 1. As you can see in the screen, you must first select the file number for importing the configuration backup of the unit. You can replace the current configuration with any configuration file saved to one of the system's 3 restore points by restoring the configuration file from the restore point. Restoring a saved configuration does not change the unit's FIPS mode, if that is applicable. 2. Click Apply to save your settings. 3. Click Restore. The configuration restoration begins. 4. You can view the status of the restoration in the Configuration Restore Status field. Note that, while a configuration restoration is taking place, no user can make any changes to the configuration. All system configuration parameters are read-only during the configuration restoration. In the following, we will present you the unit information file and how to download it using both HTTP and FTP protocols. The unit info file includes technical data about the unit and also backup files placed in restore points. This file can be forwarded to Ceragon customer support team at their request to help in analyzing issues that may occur. To generate the unit information file and download it using the HTTP protocol, do the following. First, go to Platform Management, then select Unit Info option. Then, select HTTP. Then, click Create to create the unit information file. To check the file creation status, look at the File Creation Status and File Creation Progress sections. Once succeeded message is shown, click Export. Again, here, to check the file export status, look at the File Export Status and File Export Progress sections. To generate the unit information file and download it using the FTP protocol, do the following. From the same web EMS page, select FTP. Now, follow these steps. 1. Configure the IP50 or IP20 FTP communication parameters with the FTP server. All these actions and associated parameters were previously explained. 2. Then, click Apply. 3. Click Create to create the unit information file. 4. Check the file creation status and the file creation progress sections. 5. Once succeeded message is shown, click Export. 6. Check the file export status and file export progress sections. Let's now understand how to upgrade and downgrade the Ceragon software on the IP50 and IP20 network elements. First, let's highlight few important aspects related to software upgrade or downgrade. Before changing the software version, save the current configuration to restore point 1. Do not select Other Restore Point Number. We need to do this because, in case you decide to downgrade, the system will use the configuration file stored under restore point 1. If no configuration file was saved in restore point 1, in case of downgrade, the system will set the unit to factory defaults. Also, still before performing a software upgrade, it is important to verify that the system date and time are correct. And also, when upgrading a node with unit protection, upgrade the standby unit first, then the active unit. First, let's highlight few important aspects related to software upgrade or downgrade. Before changing the software version, save the current configuration to restore point 1. Do not select Other Restore Point Number. We need to do this because, in case you decide to downgrade, the system will use the configuration file stored under restore point 1. If no configuration file was saved in restore point 1, in case of downgrade, the system will set the unit to factory defaults. Also, still before performing a software upgrade, it is important to verify that the system date and time are correct. And also, when upgrading a node with unit protection, upgrade the standby unit first, then the active unit. IP50 and IP20 software and firmware releases are provided in a single bundle that includes software and firmware for all components in the system. As a general rule, the software is first downloaded to the system, then installed. After installation, a reset is automatically performed on all components whose software was upgraded. Starting with the Ceragon 9.7 software, there are 2 software download options available. Via HTTP transfer, from computer to the network element. And via FTP transfer, from FTP server towards the network element, which is an FTP client. Let's now see how to perform a software upgrade, first by downloading the software via HTTP protocol. Welcome to Ceragon Knowledge Videos. In this episode, we will show you how to perform a software upgrade on Ceragon IP50 or IP20 network elements. Enjoy! As you know, the network elements from Ceragon have an embedded, Linux-based operating system called CeraOS. This is the basis for managing any Ceragon network device, and CeraOS has been created in a unified way across all current products. We are doing a software upgrade from 11.1 to 11.7 on the IP20F device. Before doing any software upgrade or downgrade, first have a look at what is installed on the network element. You can check that under Platform, Software, the Version submenu. In here, you can see the installed operating system version and the downloaded operating system. In our case, they are the same. We will first download, then install the new operating system version now. For this episode, we will use the HTTP option for software upgrade. Upgrade via FTP is available as well. To start the process, simply download the new software version from our server to your PC and then to the device and then install. Go to Download and Install submenu to start. Double check to make sure you have the correct software for your network element before starting any software upgrade. As mentioned, we are using 11.7 for the IP20F. Once our correct file is selected, we hit download and wait for the device to get the new operating system. This process will take a couple of minutes, depending on the connection speed. For any software upgrade compatibility, please consult the release notes document available with your Ceragon representative or go to www.ceragon.com to obtain the document. This document will show the most important changes, feature descriptions, and compatibility list for the current release. Our download is now ready, so it's time to perform the actual software upgrade. First, we will verify the version is correctly downloaded under the Versions submenu. As you can see, the installed version is still the former one, but now the downloaded shows 11.7. Press Install and confirm. This will begin the software upgrade process from the downloaded repository and install on the actual device. You should not use or disconnect the power of the network element during software upgrade. If any issue appears during this installation process, the network element will revert back to the last known configuration and upgrade will fail. With installation ready, the network element will reboot to load up the new operating system version. You will not have management over this element during the reboot. Keep in mind that the software upgrade process will not change the IP of your network element, so you will be able to manage it on the same IP address. We will now do a continuous ping on the IP address to understand when it comes back online. Once we get a ping reply, the network element is ready and you can check that the upgrade has been operated successfully. For more instructional videos, follow us on www.ceragon.com. To download and install a new software version using HTTP or HTTPS, in the IP50s and IP20s WebEMS, select Platform, Software, Download and Install. The Download and Install page opens. Select HTTP. Then click Choose File. A browse window opens. Navigate to the directory in which the software file is located and select the file. The selected file must be a zip file. Click Open. The file name of the selected file appears in the file name field. Click Download. The download begins. You can view the status of the download in the Download Status field. If you want to discontinue the download process, click Abort. Please note also that HTTP and HTTPS can only be used to download files for Cera OS 9.7 and later. If there is a requirement to downgrade from Cera OS 9.7 or higher to version earlier than Cera OS 9.7 using HTTP or HTTPS, contact Ceragon customer support for assistance. Once the download has been completed, verify that the version you want to install has been downloaded. You can check the downloaded version for each component by viewing the downloaded version column in the Versions page. To perform the actual installation, click Install. The installation begins. You can view the status of the installation in the Download and Install Status Parameters section of the Download and Install page. Let's now see again how to perform a software upgrade, but this time, by downloading the software using the FTP protocol. As a general rule, note that the software installation process on the IP20 and IP50 network elements includes the following steps. First step is the download operation. The files required for the installation or upgrade are downloaded from a remote server or device. Second step is the installation operation. The downloaded software and firmware files are installed in all modules and components of the IP20 or IP50 unit that are currently running an older version. And last step is the unit reset. The IP50 and IP20 is restarted in order to boot the new software and firmware versions. Let's go deeper now and explain all the steps you need to follow to perform a software upgrade by downloading the software via FTP. Before performing a software upgrade, it is important to verify that system date and time are correct. B. Install FTP server, if not already installed. You know already that we recommend to use FileZilla server. C. Set up FileZilla server parameters. D. Set up communication parameters for IP50 or IP20 unit with FTP server. E. Unzip software package inside the FTP server's shared folder. F. Download the software from FTP server. G. Install downloaded software. To display and configure the time via WebEMS, select Platform, Management, Time Services. After setting the correct parameters, press Apply. Ceragon network elements use the Universal Time Coordinated (UTC) standard for time and date configuration. UTC is a more updated and accurate method of date coordination than the earlier date standard, Greenwich Mean Time (GMT). Every network element holds the UTC offset and daylight savings time information for the location of the unit. Each management unit presenting the information uses its own UTC offset to present the information with the correct time. Note, if the unit is powered down, the time and date are saved for 96 hours, that is 4 days. If the unit remains powered down for longer, the time and date may need to be reconfigured. To set the UTC time, connect to the node via a telnet session and enter the following first command in route view. Platform Management Time Services, UTC set date and time, followed by the date and time. To set the local time offset relative to UTC, enter the second command showed on the screen when in route view. To check the current Cera OS running version and the downloaded version via WebEMS, select Platform, Software, and then Versions. In the following 3 slides, including this one, we'll explain the software download and installation steps. The download will be done using the FTP protocol. To start, you must install FTP or SFTP server software on the PC or laptop you are using to perform the software upgrade. Then unzip the new software package into your shared FTP folder. More details on how to set up and configure the FTP server on your PC were discussed previously. Now, in the IP50s or IP20s WebEMS, select Platform, Software, Download and Install. The Download and Install page opens. Select FTP, then click FTP Parameters to display the FTP Parameters page. In the File Transfer Protocol field, select the file transfer protocol you want to use, FTP or SFTP. In the Username field, enter the username you configured in the FTP server. In the Password field, enter the password you configured in the FTP or SFTP server. If you did not configure a password for your FTP or SFTP user, simply leave this field blank. If the IP address family is configured to be IPv4, enter the IPv4 address of the PC or laptop you are using as the FTP or SFTP server in the server IPv4 address field. The same goes for the IPv6, defining the server IP address in the server IPv6 address field. In the path field, enter the directory path from which you are downloading the files. Enter the path relative to the FTP user's home directory, not the absolute path. If the location is the home directory, it should be left empty. If the shared folder is the C drive of your PC, this parameter can be left empty or populated with //. Next, follow these steps to download the software and perform the actual installation. 1. At this step we configure the FTP parameters, and was explained in previous slide. 2. Once the FTP parameters are set correctly, click Apply. Then close the FTP parameters page. At this stage, the communication between the FTP server, which might be your own PC, and the IP50 or IP20 unit, was successfully established. 3. Click Download. The download begins. 4. You can view the status of the download in the Download Status field. 5. Once the download has been completed, verify that the version you want to install has been downloaded. You can check the downloaded version for each component by viewing the downloaded version column in the Versions page. To reach here, select Platform, then Software, then Versions. 6. This is an optional step. You can schedule a timed software installation to take place at any time within 24 hours after you configure the installation. To do so, click Install Parameters. The Install Parameters page opens. Select Yes in the Timed Installation field, and then click Apply. Then, in the Software Management Timer field, enter the amount of time, in hours and minutes, you want to defer the installation. Then click Apply, then close to close the Install Parameters page. 7. Click Install. The installation begins. 8. You can view the status of the installation in the Download and Install Status Parameters section of the Download and Install page. Upon completion of the installation, the system performs an automatic reset. In the Versions page, check again the current CeraOS running version. You should now see the newly installed version under Running Version column. With this final check, the software upgrade is now successfully completed. In the following, we'll explain the RFU software installation procedure for the IP20 IDU for split mount or all-indoor setups. More precisely, this procedure applies to RFU-C, RFU-HP, and 1500 HP only. If this procedure is not one of your learning objectives, you can skip it. To start, note that although the RFU software is included in the standard installation bundle, the current software version is not automatically updated in the RFU when an installation is performed. This enables you to manage the IDU and the RFU software version separately. To upgrade the software in an RFU, you must perform the upgrade manually, per slot, only from CLI. Feel free to stop the player here for a closer look on the list of commands you need to perform. In this slide, an example is shown with the upgrade procedure for an RFU-C unit. After successful login into the IP20 unit using, in example, Telnet, follow these steps. 1. Prior to the installation, check the installed version using the follow command. Platform, Software, Show, RFU, Versions. 2. Then, you can proceed to update the software version. The following sequence of commands installs the RFU-C software version 2.13 in the RFU connected to slot 3. First command is Platform, Software, Update, RFU, Version, Slot 3, Radio Port 1. Second command is Platform, Software, Install, RFU Version, Slot 3, Radio Port 1. 3. To check the status of an update or install operation, enter the following command. Platform, Software, Show, RFU, Status. 4. Once the installation is complete, the Install Status column should indicate installation success and the In Progress column should indicate 100, which is 100%. 5. When the installation is complete, check again that the new version was properly installed in both the TCC and the RFU. In the following few slides, we'll show the software compatibility between different CeraOS versions. In the screen, we show the general CeraOS software compatibility table. Depending on the product, the software availability can differ. Please check as following the limitation notes related to the different software versions that can be installed in the Ceragon IP50 and IP20 devices. Different software packages are used for different product groups and cannot be used interchangeably. Make sure to use the correct software package for the product type you are using. Support for legacy CeraOS software releases is provided for up to 2 years after the release. Customers using older CeraOS versions are encouraged to upgrade their devices to newer CeraOS versions that fall within this 2-year support window. Please keep in mind the following notes related to the first software version supported with the following products. For TCCU, no version below 11.5.5 is supported. No version below 11.3 is supported for IP50C. No version below 11.1 is supported for IP50S. No version below 10.6 is supported for IP50E. IP20F and IP20CHP. No version below 10.0 is supported for both products. No version below 9.7 is supported for IP20V. Installing an older version will cause critical loss of functionality requiring RMA at the customer's expense. Time for a very brief quiz. From the course information so far, how many restore or backup points are available to use on the network element? Well, if you thought 3, then it's correct. Good job. From the course, is it true or false that you need to create the backup on a memory slot before exporting it? If you remembered that to be true, then you were correct. Good job. From the topics mentioned so far, do you recall which from the below are the options for a network element software version upgrade? If you recalled that the FTP and HTTP options are available for the Ceragon devices, then you are correct. This concludes our small quiz. The module you've seen has covered the following topics: configuration backup and restore, unit information file download, software upgrade or downgrade, RFU software upgrade, applicable only to RFU units used IP20 split mount configurations, software compatibility. Thank you for your attention.